So the Nintendo Switch 2 is on its way, and there's a little over 2 weeks left until the Switch 2 launch, which a lot of people have been waiting a very long time for, to say the least, with the countless leaks out there and all of the Nintendo Switch 2 replacements in the form of PC handhelds. And over the course of the last 4 years, I fell in love with a lot of different handhelds, and my channel has changed drastically from what it used to be thanks to these PC handhelds. But now the second coming is happening, and the Nintendo Switch 2 is finally going to be real. I'm pretty sure most people pre-ordered and bought it just to prove to themselves that this handheld is finally real. But for people that lost patience halfway through, which makes sense, most of those people have moved on to PC handhelds. So my question for you guys today is, will the Nintendo Switch 2 replace your PC handheld? Now, in my opinion, for me, based on the fact I need to rebuy most of these games, most likely the Nintendo Switch 2 won't replace my PC handhelds in the next 2 to 3 years because of this limitation of development and based on how long it'll take. For games like Resident Evil 2 Remake, Metal Gear Solid 5, God of War, I'm sure a lot of those games are going to be in legal hell for the next 2 to 3 years in order for Nintendo to get it on the Switch 2. So statistically, it's kind of impossible for something like the Switch 2 to fully replace my Steam Deck, ROG Ally, or Legion Go based on convenience alone. Sure, Cyberpunk 2077 is going to last about 2 hours with interchangeable gameplay from dock to handheld mode, but the system is going to take about 3.5 hours to charge. Now that's the amount of time it takes for my 100 watt hour and above power banks to charge. So I'm very surprised at those numbers. And for my ROG Ally, it takes about 45 minutes. But because I have a bigger battery in my ROG Ally now, it takes about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. But that's still a lot better than 3 hours and 30 minutes. So just based off of the charge time alone for the Switch 2, I think due to time constraints, I just might take my Steam Deck because it charges faster. And going back to the ports, the Switch 2 needs a lot of work and hundreds of ports to get me to forget about my PC handhelds altogether, but I can see myself dabbling in fighting games like Street Fighter 6 or playing couch co-op games like Split Fiction a lot more on the Switch 2 because playing games like that will be a whole lot more convenient on something like the Nintendo Switch 2 compared to even the Steam Deck, because there are controller rearranging issues when it comes to the Steam Deck. Even though you have a UI that gives you a helping hand with this feature, I have a lot of issues with that, and sometimes the rearranging controller feature just straight up doesn't work. But I've had those kind of issues with the original Switch as well, so we'll see when it comes out. Of course, when the Nintendo Switch 2 comes out, I won't be biased, and I'll go into the review with the best intentions, but my review of the handheld will take a couple weeks since it isn't mine. But the answer at the end of the day is, it depends what I'm